I did want to take a moment and show you one of my favorite pieces of Casablanca software. It's called PowerKey, and it truly is powerful. Come take a look with me. I'm going to go into a different project here that has some other footage, and it's got images or photographs of some of the U.S. presidents from the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. You can see that I've got a 3-second long image of George Washington. Well, what PowerKey does is, by me pressing down function key F2, it shows me and gives me a keyboard equivalent for every on-screen menu command. Very, very cool. So I can sit down and have the ability to modify all the parameters in my project here by using largely the Casablanca keyboard. Let me show you how this is a powerful and cool feature if you're doing something like a photo montage. Well, you can see that George is now 3 seconds long. But what if I wanted to trim George down? So let's go T for trim, O for out, and I'm going to make George, instead of 3 seconds long, I'm going to make him 2 seconds and 15 frames. So I go back to the edit menu and you can see I've now trimmed George to 215. By holding down the control key and the letter T, it will trim all the rest of the clips to an identical length with the first one. So I've very quickly just trimmed a whole series of images all to 2 seconds and 15 frames. Well, now what I want to do is add those or insert those to the storyboard. With PowerKey, it's a breeze because you have a repeat function. To set up the repeat function, what I'm going to do is hold down this key here, which is called the storyboard key. By holding down the storyboard key and insert, it'll simply just put George up inside the storyboard. But here's where the real magic occurs. When I hold down the storyboard key plus control and then insert that image, you see it inserted George, but then it scooted over to Thomas Jefferson saying, aha, he wants to repeat this and do something else. Let's follow him along. Now I press down Control and the key R for repeat, and it asks me, okay, Chet, how many times do you want to repeat that? Well, I think there's 14 more presidents that I have in my collection here. By clicking return, it added all of those presidents with 5 keystrokes. Isn't that cool? Let's take it one step further. Let's say we want to put a crossfade or a transition between those. I'm going to click on this button here, which is the screens or interface button, and I'm going to select the key for the transition menu, and I would like to insert a crossfade in between those two. But because I pushed the control key, I set up the repeat function. And now, again, with 5 keystrokes, I've added a crossfade transition between all the images inside my storyboard. Very powerful editing with your Casablanca digital editor. Let me offer you one more suggestion. If you do lots of photo montages, here's a very powerful feature, and this is on every Casablanca. Take that original image and go to the special menu, then come down here to the zoom feature. And what I recommend is just a slow, what we call a push-in or a slow zoom in. On the odd scenes, zoom in, and on the even scenes, zoom out. And here's what you get. A slow zoom in on George. Now this was not zoomed in via the camera, this was done by your Casablanca editor. And a slow pull out or a zoom out on Abraham Lincoln. Now when I add those to the storyboard, do a nice little title screen and throw in some music, here's what the result looks like. Isn't that cool? It's a great way to take family photos, to take photos of the bride and groom. A very powerful way to take two-dimensional media and make a very compelling and powerful performance. I'll go ahead and stop that, and I'm just going to say, Ken Burns, watch your backside. I'm coming after you.